Hello. Thank you very much for everything that you've done. My wife and I are having challenges. We have been together a total of 13 years, married 8, and we absolutely love and adore each other, but we fight all the time. And her complaints that she's giving to me, I could turn around and give them right back to her because my feelings mirror hers incredibly closely. So we're both fighting and we both feel the same. So I don't want to lose my wife, and I'm wanting to know what I can do to bring us closer together. It's like we're doing amazing or we're fighting like cats and dogs.
Well, you can't do anything about how she sees you. And if you try, it'll just get worse, because you can't stand on your head in enough different ways to fix what somebody else thinks is wrong with you. Seriously. But there's something that you're not understanding, and as we visit here, just briefly, this is just going to make so much sense to you. We really liked the way you presented this to us, because not only were you articulate about it, but you were completely accurate about it, but also it's the way it is whenever anybody isn't getting along. In other words, but it's rare to find someone who acknowledges that it's usually the same things that are bugging me about you are the same things that are bugging you about me. Because law of attraction is honing in on the active vibration. So we just want to say all of that was logical, and your words perfectly mirrored what's going on vibrationally, which is a really refreshing conversation, because it will be easy for you to hear what we're going to say, which will help you to move into a place that will get you more of what you're wanting. The most significant thing that we want to say is that, and we said it in part, but we want to amplify it. We want you to take your attention away from her complaints about you, because her complaints about you aren't really about you, and your complaints about her aren't really about her. Now that's hard to hear, because it seems like before you did that I felt better, and after you did that I felt worse, so you're the reason I feel bad. But just stay with us for a little bit and it will all make sense.
Okay.
As you have interacted with her, now remember, doing nothing about trying to placate her by you changing, but what you can do something about is your vision of her. And the reason that you must do something about your vision of her is because you created, through every argument, through the good times and the not good times, you've created a vortex version of this relationship. Now she has too. In fact, it's interesting, as we feel you and as we feel her through you, your vortex versions of the relationship that you each want are as close to identical as anything that we've ever seen. What she has put in the vortex as a result of living with you, and what you've put in the vortex as a result of living with her, it's the same thing. What's freaking you out is that you're frequently not a vibrational match to your vortex version, and what's freaking her out is that she's frequently not a vibrational match to her vortex version. Is this making sense to you? Now you can't do anything about, no matter how hard you try, just give it up. You can't do anything about making your reality match her vortex version. That is just way more. There are too many universal forces that are involved in it. But you can do everything about focusing so completely on your vortex version of her that you come into alignment when you think about her. And you know what's going to happen to her when you're in complete alignment with your vortex version of her? She's going to feel the love that you feel only when you are in alignment with the vortex version of her. So what we're really saying, and it really is odd in a physical world, we want you to fall in love with the version of her that you put in your vortex. because you have no control over the other one. And when you are completely fixated on this person that you together, the two of you together, have created. In other words, you've created this relationship. You know why you're going nuts, both of you? Is because you've worked so hard at creating this new and improved version of your marriage, but you're both looking at what you've got instead of about where you're going. And because you've worked so hard, really, we really mean this. There is more relationship stuff in this vortex than we have ever seen. And that's why your opening words were so real and true, because you've both created this magnificent vortex version, and you're both, because of the what is itis that you've got of facing reality. So it's sort of like, if you could break it down in the way that we know it to be, your words would be to her, you know, I'm so weak in my ability to focus that I'm looking right at us as we are, and us as we are is so different from what we've both created that it's just making me nuts. How about you? Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. That's really what's going on. People think that if my partner would just, if my mate would just be different, then I could just observe the difference and I would feel better and everything would be all right. But that isn't how this law of attraction universal world is. How it is it's never been about you harmonizing with your mate. It's always been about you harmonizing with the vortex version of your life, and her too. You see, you got that, didn't you? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we said to a man one day, we were giving him from inside the vortex the kinds of things that he might say, because when you're in the vortex, what you feel is, I so love what we've created together. When you're in the vortex, you feel such appreciation at where you stand, and you feel appreciation of every squabble that resulted in this expansion. So you're holding no blame to yourself or to your wife. You're just feeling appreciation for the expansion that you've achieved together. And so she's upset, and you don't want her to be upset, so you focus upon the version of her who is not upset, and she says, why aren't you paying attention to me? Come here and talk to me about this. And from inside the vortex you say, I love you so much. I've been thinking so completely about who we are. I so appreciate everything that you have contributed to who I am. I want to find words that you can hear, and this probably isn't the best time, but I'm so adoring you and us. I know that this can only get better, and I don't want any of it to ever have not been good for you. The day I met you, what I wanted and what I still want is that your life would be wonderful. Every time I look at you, that comes clearer and clearer to my mind. I don't always live up to my own vision of who you are or who we are, but I sure want to. There isn't anything I want more than our happiness, your happiness. And we promise you, she just can't stay mad when you feel like that, but you can't fake it. You got to be in the vortex. You got to know that. You've got to own it. You got to be true to who the two of you have become. You see, often when we're visiting with someone, we're talking about your vortex, what's in your vortex. In this case, we're talking about what the two of you have put there. And it is our promise to you that when you harmonize with your vortex, you'll harmonize with her vortex. We can feel the power of this relationship. So your words, I don't want to lose her, that's not going to happen. But you keep losing content. What you're really saying is, I don't want to lose connection with who we really are. And we're over here fighting so much, we keep losing connection with who we really are, and then we're blaming each other for it. So the most significant thing that we're giving to you is, if you can stand in your vortex and not ask her to be one bit different in any way than she is being, but just accept that's just now reality, which was a bouncing off place for what's real. Do you know, we haven't said this here today, but we really think this is the best time ever to say it. This vortex version is the now reality. In other words, this is present tense. This old stuff This manifestation is old stuff, you see. And what's driving you nuts is that you have created such a big vortex version, and the now reality is such a departure from it that neither one of you can bear it. And if either of you were to just get fed up with the current squabble and walk away, you would miss this magnificent vortex version, because this is one, we promise you, includes the people who are together squabbling now.
Thank you so much.
So how are you going to convince her?
I'm not.